Your years have not reduced your value. They have refined your ability to recognize it. There comes a point in life when experience begins to speak more clearly than old fear. You have lived long enough to see that effort cannot force sincerity, that overgiving cannot create devotion, and that making yourself smaller does not make a fragile connection more secure. You have seen how much strength it takes to carry everyone's comfort while quietly questioning your own place. You have learned things that your younger self could not have learned from advice alone. And tonight, those years belong to you. They are not evidence that something passed you by. They are evidence that you can see more now. You know the difference between attention and care. You know the difference between words and consistency. You know the difference between being wanted for a moment and being respected over time. You know how it feels when you are doing too much emotional work just to keep something from becoming distant. You know the particular tiredness of trying to read a silence, interpret a short reply, soften a need before expressing it, or convince yourself that a little affection should be sufficient because asking for more might make you seem difficult. That knowledge is not a reason to become guarded. It is a reason to become clear. Your age gives you an advantage that fear rarely mentions. You have evidence now. You have memory. You have contrast. You have lived through many beginnings and endings to understand that losing access to someone is not the same as losing your value. You have survived days you once believed would undo you. You have adjusted to changes you never requested. You have discovered that disappointment can hurt deeply without defining the rest of your life. Something in you knows more than it used to know. It knows that being chosen at the cost of abandoning yourself is too expensive. It knows that affection without respect eventually becomes exhausting. It knows that constant uncertainty is not automatically passion. It knows that you should not have to prove your tenderness by tolerating what repeatedly wounds you. This knowing may still be quiet. Old habits can speak loudly, especially at night, when the day has stopped distracting you and the mind returns to every conversation you wish had gone differently. You may remember what you said, what you did not say, how long you waited, how quickly you replied, how carefully you tried to make yourself understandable. You may remember the moments when you sensed distance and responded by offering more patience, more explanation, more reassurance, more chances, more access to you. You may have believed that if you could be warmer, calmer, more useful, more attractive, more understanding, more forgiving, then you would finally feel secure in someone's regard. Not because you lacked dignity, but because a very human part of you wanted connection to stay. There is tenderness in admitting that. You were not foolish for wanting closeness. You were not weak for hoping. You were not defective because someone's inconsistency affected you. Wanting to matter to another person is human. Wanting reassurance is human. Wanting to be held in someone's mind with care is human. The difficulty begins when that natural desire becomes tied to an older belief that says you must earn what others seem permitted to receive naturally. Then connection can start feeling like a test you are always trying to pass. You become alert to changes in tone. You become careful with your timing. You wonder whether you asked for too much. You review your own behavior before considering whether the situation itself is giving too little. You offer understanding before anyone has asked how something affected you. You explain the other person's behavior to yourself. They are stressed. They are busy. They have been hurt before. They are not expressive. They need space. They are going through something. Sometimes every one of those things may be true. Compassion can be accurate. People do have complicated lives. They carry histories you cannot fully see. They may struggle with communication, closeness, responsibility, or emotional honesty. But understanding someone does not require you to disappear inside their explanation. Your needs remain real even when another person has reasons. Your feelings still count when someone did not intend to hurt you. Your limits do not become unreasonable because someone dislikes meeting them. This is one of the quiet advantages of having lived. You can hold two truths now. You can have compassion for another person and still say inwardly, "This does not work for me." You can understand why someone behaves as they do without volunteering to remain inside the consequences. You can care and still choose distance. You can forgive and still become more selective. You can remember something beautiful without using the beautiful parts to excuse everything that caused you pain. Your younger self may have thought maturity meant tolerating more. Your wiser self is beginning to understand that maturity can also mean deciding more carefully what gets repeated. You do not have to become hard to do that. You do not have to become suspicious of everyone. You do not have to stop hoping. You only need to stop treating your own discomfort as the least important information in the room. There may have been times when you sensed that something was wrong, but immediately searched for a way to make the feeling go away. You told yourself to be less sensitive. You waited another week. You gave another chance without asking for a change. You lowered the expectation so you would not have to face the disappointment of seeing it unmet. You may even have called that patience. Sometimes it was patience. Sometimes it was fear dressed in patience because fear sounded less dignified when named directly. Fear of being left. Fear of being difficult. Fear that a better connection might never come. Fear that time was moving and you should be grateful for whatever affection was available. Fear that beginning again would ask too much of you. Fear that your age, your history, your body, your past choices, or the shape of your life somehow made you less desirable than you once were. That fear deserves compassion, not obedience. It learned its arguments somewhere. It may have absorbed them from careless comments, old rejection, cultural messages, family patterns, comparison, betrayal, loneliness, or years of measuring yourself through other people's responses. It may have learned to treat acceptance as proof of value and distance as proof of failure. But another person's response has never been an accurate measurement of your whole being. People respond through their own capacity, their preferences, their fears, their timing, their habits, their maturity, their wounds, their readiness, their limitations. Their choices can affect you without becoming a final judgment about you. That distinction matters. It matters especially after you have spent years assuming that every withdrawal requires self-correction. Someone becomes less available, and you search yourself. Someone grows vague, and you wonder what you did. Someone gives mixed signals, and you try to become easier to choose. Someone offers only partial presence, and instead of asking whether partial presence meets your needs, you ask whether you are demanding too much by wanting something steadier. This pattern can become so familiar that you hardly recognize the effort anymore. You reach out first because silence makes you uneasy. You keep the conversation alive because letting it end feels like admitting something. You make plans because otherwise nothing moves. You forgive quickly because conflict feels dangerous. You act unbothered because you fear that honesty will create distance. You accept explanations that never lead to changed behavior. You become grateful for the smallest sign of attention after a long stretch of uncertainty. Then the attention feels powerful because the uncertainty came first. The relief can be mistaken for closeness. The return can feel more intense because absence hurt. The smallest reassurance can seem enormous after you have been wondering where you stand. This does not mean your feelings were false. It means the conditions around them may have intensified them. There is no shame in seeing that now. In fact, seeing it now is part of the advantage. You do not have to condemn your past to outgrow it. You do not need to insult the person you were in order to respect the person you are becoming. That earlier version of you was working with the beliefs, needs, hopes, and information available at the time. She wanted something sincere. She wanted to feel safe enough to exhale. She wanted to know that her care was not being wasted. Sometimes she tried too hard because she thought effort could protect her from loss. Sometimes she stayed too available because she confused access with importance. Sometimes she offered more after disappointment because withholding care felt unnatural to her. Sometimes she tried to become unforgettable to people who had not yet shown that they knew how to value what was already in front of them. There is no need to punish her. She needs your understanding. She needs the wisdom you have now. She needs you to look back without contempt and say, "I see why you tried so hard. I also see what it cost you. It cost you rest when you were waiting for replies. It cost you concentration when your mind kept returning to someone's behavior. It cost you honesty when you said you were fine before you were fine. It cost you self-trust when you repeatedly argued against what you could already sense. It cost you time when you kept hoping potential would become pattern. It cost you tenderness toward yourself when every difficulty became another reason to wonder whether you were lacking. That last cost can be the hardest to see because it happens quietly. A connection disappoints you, and the mind says you should have been more interesting. Someone does not commit, and the mind says another person would have inspired commitment. You express a need, and the response is cold, so the mind says the need itself must have been the problem. You are treated carelessly, and instead of placing responsibility where it belongs, part of you begins an examination of your appearance, your personality, your history, your timing, your age, your emotional nature. That examination can become merciless. You compare. You edit yourself. You replay moments that cannot be changed. You imagine alternate verse, lines of yourself who would have been easier to keep, quieter, more mysterious, less available, more confident, more beautiful, more accomplished, less affected, more independent. You imagine that one adjustment would have secured the outcome you wanted. But real connection is not created by performing the correct version of yourself. A bond that requires constant strategy may keep you occupied, but occupation is not the same as security. Healthy closeness has room for reality, room for two people, room for honesty, room for ordinary human imperfection, room for a need to be spoken without turning it into a threat, room for a misunderstanding to be addressed rather than used as punishment, room for affection that does not have to be earned again each morning. You may not have known how much you needed that room until you experienced the opposite. And your age can help you recognize it sooner now. Not because you know everything, not because you will never misread anyone again, not because you are supposed to become perfectly detached. You are still human. You can still become hopeful. You can still be moved by someone. You can still misjudge a situation, overlook a sign, or stay longer than you later wish you had. Wisdom does not make you immune to emotion. It gives emotion better company. It gives your feelings the companionship of perspective. You can want someone and still observe how you feel around them. You can be attracted and still ask whether there is respect. You can enjoy attention and still see whether it is consistent. You can miss someone without making missing them a command to return. You can care deeply and still know that care alone does not determine what belongs in your life. This is where your years become strength. They have given you contrast. You know the sensation of being overextended. You know what happens when you repeatedly postpone your own truth. You know how expensive uncertainty can become when the mind tries to solve it every hour. You know that every relationship has difficult moments, but difficulty and chronic instability are not the same thing. You know that nobody is perfect, but imperfection is different from repeated disregard. You know that forgiveness can be beautiful, but forgiveness does not require permanent access. You know that patience has dignity, but patience without mutual effort can become self-neglect. The knowledge is already in you. Tonight is not about inventing a stronger person. It is about letting the person who has already learned these things have more influence. For years, an older belief may have been allowed to speak first. It may have said that if someone pulls away, move closer. If they hesitate, prove yourself. If they misunderstand you, explain harder. If they give little, appreciate it more, so they will not leave. If they are uncertain, become more impressive. If they fail to choose clearly, imagine it until they do. That belief was trying to create safety through effort. It thought your best protection against rejection was becoming increasingly acceptable. It believed belonging was earned through adjustment. Many people learn some version of this very early. Approval comes after pleasing. Peace comes after being easy. Praise comes after performing. Affection feels more available when you are useful, agreeable, successful, quiet, attractive, accommodating, undemanding, or emotionally convenient. A child cannot always examine those conditions. A child adapts. Then years pass, and the adaptation begins operating inside adult relationships. You may become exceptionally good at sensing what other people need while struggling to say what you need before resentment appears. You may pride yourself on being independent while secretly wishing someone would finally care for you without requiring instructions. You may be the person everyone calls because you are dependable, while wondering who would recognize your exhaustion before you had to announce it. You may give thoughtful reassurance while feeling embarrassed by your own desire for reassurance. You may be able to forgive almost anything in others while holding yourself responsible for the smallest mistake. That imbalance does not prove greater virtue. It may only prove greater practice. You have practiced extending understanding outward. Now some of that understanding belongs inward. You have practiced making space for someone else's complexity. Your own complexity deserves space too. You can be wise and still want tenderness. You can be strong and still prefer reassurance. You can be independent and still desire partnership. You can be experienced and still be affected by rejection. You can know better and still sometimes repeat what you have outgrown. None of those contradictions make you deficient. They make you human. At night, the human mind can be especially persuasive when it presents old conclusions as facts. You remember who did not stay, and the mind turns absence into evidence. You remember who overlooked you, and the mind turns their limitation into your identity. You remember the occasions when you accepted less than you wanted, and the mind says you must have done so because less was all you could deserve. That conclusion does not follow. Sometimes people accept little because they have been taught to doubt the legitimacy of wanting more. Sometimes they remain because hope is powerful. Sometimes they believe consistency will come after patient waiting. Sometimes loneliness makes uncertainty appear more tolerable than an empty space. Sometimes chemistry makes obvious incompatibility harder to accept. Sometimes a familiar pattern feels safer than an unfamiliar kind of care. Sometimes a person stays because leaving would require grieving not only what happened, but what they imagined might happen. None of this makes the old judgment true. It only tells you where tenderness is needed. You have probably spent many years being corrected by life. You do not need another night devoted to prosecuting yourself. You do not need to lie awake collecting evidence against your own heart. You do not need to turn every old mistake into a character verdict. You can be responsible for your choices without making cruelty toward yourself the price of growth. Responsibility sounds different. It says, I see what I accepted. I see what I ignored. I see where I spoke against my own knowing. I see where fear made decisions that wisdom would make differently now. And because I see it, I can choose differently. There is dignity in that. No humiliation, no bitterness, no need to make anyone else the villain, just clarity becoming more available. A person may have hurt you without being entirely bad. You may have remained too long without being weak. You may have participated in a painful pattern without deserving the pain. You may have ignored yourself at times without losing the right to trust yourself again. These truths can exist together. They make room for maturity without shame. That matters because shame keeps you occupied with who you were, while self-respect helps you decide who you will be now. Your future does not need a perfect past. It needs your participation. It needs your willingness to stop using old rejection as a prediction. It needs you to recognize that familiarity is not destiny. It needs you to stop confusing being selected by someone with being confirmed as valuable. Your value existed before anyone responded to it. It remained when someone failed to see it. It remained when you forgot it yourself. It remained through every unanswered message that made you doubt your importance. It remained through every season when you felt behind. It remained while you compared your life to people whose private reality you could not see. It remained when you thought time was closing possibilities instead of refining your choices. You are not required to become younger to become more secure in yourself. You are not required to erase your history. You are not required to compete with an earlier version of your body, your life, or your circumstances. You are here now with discernment you did not have then. That is not a consolation prize. It is an asset. You can identify what drains you sooner. You can recognize evasiveness sooner. You can hear the difference between sincere uncertainty and endless avoidance. You can appreciate warmth without immediately building your whole emotional future around it. You can take your time. You can observe. You can let consistency reveal itself. You can stop volunteering your entire heart to a possibility before the possibility has demonstrated care. This is not coldness. It is stewardship of your own life. You are no longer required to move at the speed of longing. Longing can speak. You can hear it. Then wisdom can answer. The nervous part of you may say, "Act now, or you will lose them." The wiser part can say, "What belongs in a healthy connection will not require me to abandon my dignity to keep it alive." The nervous part may say, "Send another explanation." The wiser part can say, "I have already communicated clearly." The nervous part may say, "Lower the expectation." The wiser part can say, "Disappointment does not automatically mean my expectation was wrong." The nervous part may say, "Be grateful for whatever you get." The wiser part can say, "Gratitude and discernment can exist together." These are not dramatic changes. Most real changes are quieter than drama. They happen in an unsent message, a delayed reaction, a request spoken plainly, a refusal to over-explain, a decision to watch behavior instead of filling every silence with interpretation, a willingness to remain uncertain for a little while rather than rushing to secure an answer, a willingness to let another person reveal their capacity without coaching them into the performance you hope to see. You have spent so much time trying to become convincing. You do not need to persuade the right kind of care to recognize you. And when something is not right for you, you do not need to persuade yourself that it is. That may be one of the most peaceful privileges your years can offer. You can stop bargaining with obvious information. You can stop treating discomfort as a challenge to conquer. You can stop translating inconsistency into potential. You can stop offering endless understanding where basic consideration is missing. You can stop imagining that the next conversation will somehow transform a long pattern that has remained unchanged through many conversations. You do not have to become cynical. You only have to respect evidence. Evidence can be kind. Evidence can save your time. Evidence can return you to yourself before confusion becomes your daily atmosphere, and your own behavior is evidence too. If you become anxious, over-focused, exhausted, or constantly uncertain around a connection, those reactions do not automatically prove that the other person is wrong for you, but they do deserve attention. They invite you to ask what is happening inside you, what is happening between you, and whether the dynamic supports the person you want to be. You do not have to dismiss yourself anymore. This is where a different relationship with your own life begins. Not through grand declarations, not through pretending you never cared, not through becoming unreachable, not through proving that nobody can affect you. You begin by staying beside yourself when something hurts. You begin by refusing to turn pain into a verdict. You begin by becoming curious about the old conclusion instead of automatically believing it. You begin by remembering that every year you have lived has given you information the frightened part of you did not have when these habits first formed. You know more now. You can use what you know. Tonight, you do not have to solve your entire history. You do not have to identify every origin. You do not have to repair every memory. You do not have to make a final decision about every relationship that has ever confused you. This night can be smaller than that. It can be a night when one old assumption loses a little authority. The assumption that other people's choices reveal your rank. The assumption that being wanted determines whether you are valuable. The assumption that more effort makes you safer. The assumption that time has made you less desirable, less interesting, or less likely to experience meaningful closeness. You have lived too much life to hand that much authority to fear. Your years have taught you what rushing never could. They have taught you that what appears essential in one season can become surprisingly unimportant in another. They have taught you that some endings create room you could not appreciate while you were fighting them. They have taught you that being alone for a while can be less painful than feeling alone beside someone. They have taught you that peace has its own intelligence. They have taught you that self-betrayal leaves a deeper fatigue than many disappointments do. They have taught you that your own company becomes kinder when you stop speaking to yourself in the voice of every person who failed to appreciate you. You can begin using a different voice now. A voice that does not flatter you falsely. A voice that tells the truth without cruelty. A voice that can say, you made choices from fear, and you can make new choices from greater understanding. A voice that can say, some people could not meet you where you hoped, and that does not define the quality of what you brought. A voice that can say, you are permitted to want reciprocity. A voice that can say, your age is not an apology. A voice that can say, your history does not disqualify you from tenderness. A voice that can say, you do not have to earn basic regard by exhausting yourself. A voice that can say, there is still more life ahead than fear wants you to believe. The old habit may object. It may remind you of every disappointment. Let it speak without making it the authority. It may tell you that protecting your needs will make you lonely. You do not have to argue. You can remember that abandoning your needs never guaranteed closeness either. It may tell you that expressing yourself will make people leave. You can remember that hiding yourself only teaches others how to know a reduced version of you. It may tell you to accept whatever arrives because wanting more is risky. You can remember that discernment is not ingratitude. You are learning to stand beside your own experience without immediately negotiating against it. That is a profound change. The world around you. You may not change in the same instant. Another person may not suddenly understand. A difficult connection may remain difficult. Someone may still choose differently than you hoped. This work does not control people. It does not promise a particular outcome. Its purpose is more intimate and more dependable. It changes the position from which you meet what happens. Instead of meeting life as someone awaiting a verdict, you begin meeting it as someone capable of evaluating what is offered. Instead of only wondering whether another person likes you, you also consider how their presence affects your peace. Instead of asking whether you can make something work, you also consider whether it is healthy for you to keep carrying it. Instead of measuring your future by your past, you begin letting your present understanding influence what comes next. This is what your years can give you. Not certainty, discernment. Not invulnerability, perspective. Not a guarantee. Choice. You are not behind. You are more informed. You are not too late. You are more able to recognize what does not deserve another decade of your life. You are not becoming less capable of meaningful connection. You are becoming less willing to confuse emotional strain with depth. And that change can feel unfamiliar at first. You may miss the intensity of pursuing answers. You may feel restless when you do not send the extra message. You may wonder whether calm means you care less. You may briefly confuse self-respect with distance because you have practiced proving care through effort for so long. Give yourself time. A new way of relating to yourself does not become natural in one evening. Tonight does not need perfection. It only needs a little less argument with your own dignity, a little less willingness to treat fear as prophecy, a little less eagerness to volunteer for uncertainty, a little more respect for what experience has already taught you. You have learned. You have changed. You are still changing. And you do not have to become someone else before you are permitted to rest. For now, let the day move farther away from you. There is nothing you need to send, nothing you need to prove, nothing you need to repair before sleep. No response can determine who you are tonight. No silence can remove what life has taught you. No unfinished conversation can take your accumulated wisdom away. You can lie here without chasing an explanation. You can let unanswered things remain unanswered for these hours. You can stop reviewing your value through someone else's eyes. Your own life has given you ample evidence to begin seeing yourself more fairly. You have been loyal. You have tried. You have hoped. You have recovered. You have become more discerning. And beneath the habits that once made you reach outward for reassurance, Another understanding is becoming easier to see. You do not need more years before you are ready to trust it. You have already lived the years that taught it to you. For a long time, effort may have felt safer than uncertainty. Doing something gave your mind the feeling that you still had influence. Reaching out, explaining, checking, repairing, reassuring, waiting a little longer, each action offered a temporary sense that the situation had not slipped completely beyond your hands. Stillness felt harder. Stillness meant you could not manufacture the answer. You could not create readiness in another person. You could not turn hesitation into certainty. You could not transform inconsistency by caring twice as much. So you moved, you tried, you gave. And sometimes the effort was so familiar that you called it devotion before asking whether it was also fear. There is nothing shameful in that. Human beings often move toward what frightens them when they believe movement will restore security. The mind dislikes an unresolved bond. It dislikes not knowing what another person feels, what they intend, whether they will remain, whether the warmth from yesterday will still exist tomorrow. Uncertainty creates an empty space, and an anxious mind wants to fill empty spaces quickly. It fills them with explanations, predictions, messages, interpretations, self-correction. You may have known this rhythm intimately. A conversation changes slightly. You sense it. Something becomes less warm. A reply takes longer than usual. Plans become vague. A familiar tone disappears. There may be no clear statement, no direct conflict, nothing you can point to with certainty, yet something inside you becomes alert. Then the mind begins working. Did I say too much? Was I too available? Should I have waited? Did I seem needy? Was I boring? Did they misunderstand me? Should I explain? Should I reach out? Should I give them space? Should I pretend I did not care? Should I become warmer? Should I become colder? You can spend enormous emotional effort trying to answer questions that belong partly and sometimes entirely to another person. That is one of the hidden costs of pursuing reassurance. You become responsible for both sides. You try to predict their feelings and manage your own. You try to understand their silence and calm your reaction to it. You try to protect the connection while also protecting yourself from appearing too invested in protecting it. You become a strategist when what you wanted was closeness. And strategy is tiring. It keeps the body half ready. It keeps attention outside you. It turns ordinary moments into signals. A short sentence becomes evidence. A change of routine becomes a warning. A delay becomes a story. You start reading meaning into what may or may not contain meaning because uncertainty feels too uncomfortable to leave alone. This is not because you are irrational. It is because the mind wants coherence. When someone's behavior shifts without explanation, your mind tries to create one. And if an old belief already lives underneath the uncertainty, the explanation often turns against you. The old belief rarely says there could be many reasons. It says you were not enough. It says someone better came along. It says you became too easy to take for granted. It says you should have been different. That sentence can attach itself to almost anything. Someone is distracted. You make it about your value. Someone is emotionally unavailable. You make it about your attractiveness. Someone avoids commitment. You make it about your desirability. Someone lacks communication skills. You make it about your importance. Someone changes their mind. You make it about your deficiency. You can see how exhausting that becomes. It places you in permanent negotiation with yourself. You keep trying to improve the product because you have mistaken yourself for something being evaluated. But you are not a product. You are a person meeting other people. Some will understand you deeply. Some will misunderstand you. Some will appreciate what you offer. Some will not know what to do with it. Some will be ready for the kind of connection you want. Some will enjoy your presence and still be unable to build something stable. Some may care and still lack the capacity to meet you well. These differences matter. They keep another person's limitations from becoming your identity. When you forget that, pursuing reassurance can begin to feel necessary. You believe that if you can only restore the warmth, you will restore your sense of yourself. So you seek the reassuring message, the affectionate gesture, the renewed plan, the familiar closeness, the proof that nothing has been lost. When it comes, relief moves through you. For a while, everything feels better. You can breathe again. You tell yourself you worried for nothing. Then if distance returns, the cycle begins again. This is how intermittent reassurance can become unusually powerful. Not because the connection is necessarily deeper than others, but because relief is being mixed with affection. The nervous system begins associating renewed attention with rescue from discomfort. That can create a bond to the cycle itself. Distance, fear, return, relief, hope, distance again. You may then mistake the intensity of the relief for evidence that the connection must be extraordinary. Sometimes intensity is not intimacy. Sometimes it is uncertainty, repeatedly being resolved and reopened. There is wisdom in learning the difference. Intimacy does not require constant emotional emergency. Care can have warmth without confusion. Interest can be expressed without making you decode every shift. Closeness can include space without making you feel punished by it. A stable bond can still have misunderstandings, busy days, difficult moods, imperfect communication, and periods of stress. Stability is not constant attention. It is the larger pattern of respect. It is the willingness to repair. It is the ability to speak plainly. It is the sense that one difficult moment does not force you to question your entire place. When you have spent years around uncertainty, steadiness can initially seem less exciting. There may be no dramatic return after disappearance, no huge relief after days of doubt, no emotional peak created by getting back what you feared you had lost. Steadiness can feel quieter because your body is not being repeatedly activated. That quiet is not absence, it may be safety. And the more you become comfortable with safety, the less attractive emotional confusion becomes. This is where the old way of pursuing can begin to loosen, because pursuit often carries a message beneath the action, not always. There are healthy reasons to initiate, express interest, repair a misunderstanding, or say what you want. There is nothing wrong with reaching first. There is nothing wrong with showing care. Mutual closeness is not built by pretending indifference. The question is not who sends the first message. The question is, what is driving you? Are you reaching because you sincerely want to connect, or because you cannot tolerate what the silence is making you believe about yourself? Are you explaining because something truly needs clarification, or because you hope more words will prevent someone from making a choice you fear? Are you giving because generosity is natural to you, or because you believe generosity creates a debt that will make abandonment less likely? Are you being patient because the situation deserves patience, or because leaving the waiting room would force you to accept information you do not want to accept? These are tender distinctions. They are not accusations. They are ways of returning choice to you. When action comes from panic, it often contains invisible pressure. The pressure may never be spoken aloud. It may appear only as urgency inside you. You need the response now. You need reassurance now. You need the uncertainty to end now. You need to know where you stand before you can settle. That urgency can make you overinvest in small changes. It can make you ask for clarity from someone who has already been clear through repetition. It can make you accept vague reassurance because any reassurance feels better than uncertainty. It can make you negotiate away a need just to restore harmony. You may say, "It is fine," when it is not fine. You may say, "Take all the time you need," while silently hoping they will hurry. You may say, "I understand," before giving yourself permission to understand your own disappointment. You may act casual while your mind is anything but casual. This creates a painful split. The outside of you performs ease. The inside of you works constantly. That split erodes self-trust. Every time you deny what you actually feel to preserve another person's comfort, part of you learns that your truth is dangerous. Every time you make a clear need smaller because you fear losing someone, part of you learns that connection requires self-reduction. Every time you accept a pattern you know is hurting you and call it patience, part of you learns not to trust its own signal. Then your relationship with yourself becomes less secure, even while you are trying to secure the relationship with someone else. This is why calm self-respect changes so much. Not because it casts a spell over people, not because everyone suddenly recognizes your value, not because restraint guarantees pursuit from anyone else. Calm changes the quality of your decisions. It gives you time. It helps you distinguish desire from desperation. It lets another person's behavior become visible without your constant intervention. If you are always repairing the distance, you may never discover whether the other person would have crossed it themselves. If you always initiate every important conversation, you may never learn whether they are capable of initiating one. If you explain your needs 10 different ways, you may remain focused on your wording instead of their willingness. If you repeatedly make excuses for inconsistency, you never get to see the pattern without the protection of your explanations. Calm lets reality speak. That can be frightening. Reality does not always say what hope wants to hear. But reality is kinder in the long run than endless guessing. It prevents you from spending years trying to earn from someone what they have no intention or capacity to give. It also prevents you from judging a healthy person too quickly just because old fear expects disappointment. Calm observation helps both ways. It protects without hardening. It opens without surrendering discernment. You become less interested in controlling the answer and more interested in seeing the truth. That is a very different posture. One says, "How do I make this become what I want?" The other says, "What is this actually showing me?" One is exhausting. The other is clarifying. You may have spent a long time trying to make relationships answer questions about your identity. Am I desirable? Am I lovable? Am I interesting? Am I important? Am I still attractive at this age? Am I someone people stay for? These are too large to place in another person's hands. No relationship can safely carry the job of proving your entire value. Even a devoted partner cannot answer those questions for you permanently. They can affirm you, care for you, choose you, encourage you, stand beside you. But if the deepest part of you is waiting for another human being to issue the final certificate that says you are acceptable, reassurance will never last for long. There will always be another difficult day, another disagreement, another distracted moment, another time when someone is tired, unavailable, or occupied with their own world. If each ordinary fluctuation becomes a referendum on who you are, closeness becomes too heavy for both people. This is why restoring your own foundation matters. It does not make you need nobody. That is not the goal. You can want companionship deeply. You can treasure partnership. You can enjoy being desired. You can feel nourished by affection. Self-respect does not require emotional isolation. It only means affection becomes something you experience, not something you use as proof that you deserve to exist confidently. Then your relationships can become freer. You can hear a compliment without needing it to erase years of doubt. You can enjoy closeness without gripping it. You can ask for reassurance without treating a delayed answer as catastrophe. You can express disappointment without fearing that honesty will destroy everything. You can walk away from a poor fit without translating the ending into personal failure. You can stay present until you see whether what is offered actually suits you. That last question may be unfamiliar. Does this suit me? Not, can I get them to want me? Not, can I make this work? Not, am I lucky anyone is interested? Does this connection support honesty? Does it make room for mutual effort? Can I be real here? Can differences be discussed without punishment? Do I become more myself or less myself? Do I like who I am when I am participating in this dynamic? These questions restore balance. They remind you that you are not standing in front of a judge. You are also choosing. For many years, being chosen may have seemed more important than choosing carefully. You may have felt grateful whenever someone showed strong interest because interest itself seemed flattering. You may have ignored incompatibility because being wanted felt good. You may have confused another person's certainty about you with evidence that they were right for you. But another person's desire is only one piece of information. Someone can want you and still be unable to treat you well. Someone can find you attractive and still be unreliable. Someone can feel deeply for you and still lack the maturity required for the relationship you need. Someone can have good intentions and still create a dynamic you cannot thrive inside. Desire is not the same as capacity. Chemistry is not character. Attention is not commitment. Potential is not pattern. Your lived years help you understand those differences with greater precision. This is the advantage again. Experience has made you less dependent on appearances. You have seen charming beginnings. You have seen promises made in emotion and forgotten in routine. You have seen how people behave when life becomes inconvenient. You have learned that the ordinary days reveal more than the dramatic ones. Who follows through? Who takes responsibility? Who can hear a need without turning it into an attack? Who respects a boundary without making you pay for it? Who speaks kindly when disappointed? Who is interested in your inner world, not only in the role you play in theirs? Who makes room for reciprocity? You do not need perfection. Perfection is not available. But you can pay attention to patterns. Patterns are where trust grows. Patterns are also where trust erodes. If someone repeatedly says one thing and does another, your confusion may not need another explanation. If a connection repeatedly requires you to ignore yourself, your discomfort may not be a personal defect. If someone repeatedly becomes warm only when you withdraw, it is reasonable to ask whether they desire true closeness or merely renewed access. If every boundary becomes conflict, you are learning something. If every request for clarity produces more fog, you are learning something. Learning is not condemnation. It is information. And information is useful when you stop arguing against it. You once may have believed that compassion meant giving unlimited chances. Now you can understand compassion differently. Compassion can include limits. Compassion can say, I know you are struggling, and I cannot keep being harmed by the way you handle your struggle. Compassion can say, I believe you did not intend this, and the impact still matters. Compassion can say, I care about you, and this dynamic is not sustainable for me. Compassion can say, I wish you well without volunteering to continue the same cycle. This is not a lack of heart. It is a heart that has learned it also belongs to you. You are included in the circle of people deserving your consideration. That sounds obvious when said plainly. Yet many caring people live as though everyone else's discomfort requires immediate attention, while their own can be postponed indefinitely. They become skilled at accommodation. They anticipate. They soften. They make excuses. They take responsibility early. They make peace quickly. They tell themselves that being the more understanding person is a sign of strength. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is an old survival strategy wearing the clothing of virtue. If peace requires only your silence, it is not really shared peace. If harmony exists only when you suppress your needs, the harmony is incomplete. If closeness depends on your willingness to accept what repeatedly diminishes you, the cost is too high. You do not have to become confrontational to change this. You can become clear. Clarity can be quiet. You do not need speeches. You do not need dramatic exits. You do not need to announce every boundary in advance. Some limits are choices you make privately. You decide not to continue a conversation that is becoming disrespectful. You decide not to explain the same need again after it has been clearly heard. You decide not to rearrange your entire schedule for someone who treats your time casually. You decide not to offer relationship-level devotion to a connection that remains undefined indefinitely. You decide not to turn your empathy into permission for repeated harm. You decide not to audition for a place in someone's life. These decisions alter your relationship with yourself before they alter anything around you. Each time you act from self-respect instead of fear, you send yourself a message. I will not abandon you to keep someone near. That message matters. Your mind listens to your behavior. If you repeatedly betray your own limits, affirmations can sound beautiful, while the deeper mind watches what you actually do. If you repeatedly stand beside yourself, even imperfectly, trust begins growing through evidence. You become believable to yourself. You say you will not over-explain, and one day you stop after one clear sentence. You say you will not pursue an answer indefinitely, and one day you let someone's lack of response become information. You say you will value reciprocity, and one day you recognize that giving without mutuality is no longer romantic to you. You say you want steadiness, and one day instability stops looking like passion. These are significant moments. They may look ordinary from outside. Inside, they are a re-education. The old belief says, do more or you will lose connection. Your new experience says, doing more cannot make every connection right. The old belief says, make yourself easier. Your new experience says, the right environment does not require you to erase your reasonable needs. The old belief says, accept what is available. Your new experience says, availability alone is not compatibility. The old belief says, time is running out. Your new experience says, clarity saves time. The old belief says, every ending proves something painful about you. Your new experience says, some endings are information arriving late. This is how an old pattern weakens, not by fighting it endlessly, by collecting new evidence, by living differently, by discovering that you survived the moments you once thought would break you. You survive not sending the message. You survive someone being disappointed with your boundary. You survive not being understood by everyone. You survive declining what does not fit. You survive the empty space after leaving something familiar. You survive being alone until you hear yourself again. Then what once looked unbearable becomes manageable. Your fear loses some authority. It can still speak, but it no longer decides automatically. And when fear no longer decides automatically, your standards become more natural. You stop seeing them as demands placed on others. They become conditions for your own participation. You cannot force anyone to be consistent. You can decide what you do with inconsistency. You cannot force honesty. You can decide how much access dishonesty receives. You cannot make someone communicate with care. You can decide whether repeated carelessness belongs close to you. You cannot command another person to grow. You can decide how long you will build your future around potential. This understanding removes pressure from both sides. You no longer need to manage another adult into becoming who you hoped they would be. You also no longer need to convince yourself that accepting less makes you spiritually advanced, unusually loyal, or exceptionally loving. You can be kind without volunteering for depletion. You can be forgiving without reopening every door. You can be understanding without making yourself endlessly available. There is relief in realizing this. You do not have to chase transformation in other people. Your work is closer. Your work is in what you choose, what you entertain, what you repeat, what you excuse, what you speak, what you leave unspoken, where you stay, where you step away, what you believe about yourself when someone cannot meet you. That is where your influence is strongest. It may not give you control over outcomes. It gives you something better than false control. It gives you integrity. You become more consistent with yourself. Your inside and outside begin matching. You feel hurt and you acknowledge it. You need clarity and you ask once without apologizing for needing it. You see a repeated pattern. and you stop pretending each repetition is an isolated event. You appreciate someone's good qualities without using them to erase the qualities that make the connection painful. You let yourself want what you want without demanding that a specific person become the one who gives it. This last freedom is profound. You can want deep companionship without fastening that desire to one unavailable person. You can want affection without deciding that it must arrive through a particular door. You can want a shared life without interpreting every ending as the death of the possibility. You can want to be cherished without begging anyone to perform cherishing. Desire becomes cleaner when it is separated from insistence. There is more room to breathe. You can say, "This matters to me," and still say, "I will not destroy myself trying to force it." You can care greatly and still release your grip on the outcome. You can remain open and still have discernment. That combination may be one of the strongest things your life has been teaching you. Open, but not self-abandoning. Warm, but not pleading. Hopeful, but not blind. Compassionate, but not endlessly permissive. Available for connection, but unavailable for tea. The old bargain that says you must sacrifice yourself to keep it. You have already paid plenty into that bargain. You know what it returns: temporary reassurance, permanent exhaustion. A few beautiful moments surrounded by too much uncertainty. A sense of being wanted that disappears the instant another person becomes distant. You can choose a different foundation now, not because you have become superior to anyone, not because you will never make another emotional mistake, not because every future relationship will be easy. You choose differently because your own peace has become part of the equation. Your life matters while you are waiting. Your sleep matters. Your concentration matters. Your nervous system matters. Your friendships matter. Your work matters. Your quiet mornings matter. Your laughter matters. Your health matters. Your time matters. A connection should not require your entire inner world to orbit its uncertainty. You are allowed to keep a life while caring about someone. You are allowed to remain rooted in yourself. You are allowed to have parts of the day that are not spent interpreting another person. You are allowed to let your attention return home. This is not withdrawal from life. It is participation in your own life again. And from that place, you become clearer. You see what effort used to hide. You see who meets you. You see who does not. You see what feels mutual. You see where you are carrying too much. You see where hope is supported by evidence. You see where hope has become a substitute for evidence. You do not have to make harsh conclusions tonight. There is no need to condemn anyone. Just become interested in what becomes visible when you stop doing all the emotional lifting. Let people reveal themselves without rushing to translate. Let patterns become patterns. Let words be supported by action. Let your needs remain their actual size. Let your age become wisdom instead of anxiety. Let experience work for you. You have spent years gathering it. You can trust some of what it has taught. You know now that pressure cannot create sincerity. You know pursuit cannot manufacture mutuality. You know endless availability cannot guarantee closeness. You know shrinking does not make a relationship larger. You know performing confidence is not the same as feeling secure. You know real confidence grows when you remain faithful to yourself, even when an outcome is uncertain. That kind of confidence is quieter. It does not demand attention. It does not need to prove anything. It does not say, everyone will choose me. It says, I can remain myself whether they do or not. That is steadier. That is freer. That is where the old pattern begins to lose its grip. Not because you stop caring, because you stop confusing care with pursuit. Not because you stop hoping, because you stop asking hope to contradict what you can clearly see. Not because you stop desiring closeness, because you begin desiring closeness that can breathe. Tonight, the work is not to become less loving. It is to become less afraid that you must earn what healthy connection gives freely. Respect, consistency, consideration, truth, reciprocity, room to be human. Those things do not require perfection from you. They require participation from both sides. You can stop carrying both sides. You can rest from that job. You were never meant to perform all the effort for two people. You were never meant to hold an entire connection together through vigilance. You were never meant to become increasingly exhausted in order to prove how deeply you can care. Your capacity to care is already clear. Now your capacity to discern can stand beside it. And as those two qualities learn to live together, something inside you begins to become quieter, not empty, clearer, less stirred by every passing signal, less eager to turn another person's movement into a judgment about you, less willing to abandon your own center whenever uncertainty appears. You can begin to remain where you are. You can begin to see before reacting. You can begin to let calm reveal what effort kept obscured. The belief that you are somehow lacking did not appear because it was true. It became familiar because something repeated it so often that your mind stopped questioning it. Sometimes the lesson was spoken. Sometimes nobody said the words directly. You learned it through comparison, through affection that felt conditional, through being praised when you were useful and overlooked when you were tired, through being expected to understand everyone else before anyone tried to understand you, through disappointment that arrived before you had the language to separate another person's behavior from your own identity. A child can take very little information and build a very large conclusion from it. If attention disappears, the child may not think, "This adult is overwhelmed." The child may think, "I did something wrong." If approval appears only after achievement, the child may not think, "This person does not know how to express steady affection." The child may think, "I must perform to matter." If peace in the home depends on staying quiet, the child may not think, "The adults around me have difficulty handling emotion." The child may think, "My needs create trouble." If comparison becomes common, the child may begin measuring herself before she has even discovered who she is. Then adulthood arrives, but some of those conclusions remain young. They follow you into rooms your younger self never imagined. They sit beside you while you read messages. They speak when someone becomes distant. They interpret rejection before your wiser mind has time to respond. They can make an ordinary disappointment feel like confirmation of a very old fear. This is why certain experiences hurt beyond their actual size. The present moment touches the past. A delayed reply is not only a delayed reply, it touches every old moment when you wondered whether you mattered. A person who cannot commit is not only one person making one choice. Their hesitation awakens the old question of whether you are the kind of person anyone could choose wholeheartedly. A disagreement is not only a disagreement, it can awaken the fear that expressing yourself will cost you closeness. The reaction can feel immediate because the belief was already waiting. You do not need to be ashamed of that reaction. You need to understand what it has been protecting. The old sentence was trying to prepare you for pain. If you assumed you were lacking, then rejection could feel predictable. If you blamed yourself first, you might think you could fix the problem before anyone left. If you believed you needed improvement, then you could keep working instead of facing the frightening truth that sometimes another person's choice is outside your control. Self-blame can create the illusion of control. If everything is your fault, then you might think everything can be repaired by changing yourself. Be more attractive, more useful, less emotional, more successful, more agreeable, less direct, more available, more forgiving, more interesting, more composed. There is always another adjustment available when you believe your task is to become impossible to reject. But no version of you can become impossible to reject. That is not a realistic goal for any human being. You could become kinder and still be misunderstood. You could become more confident and still meet someone incompatible. You could become more beautiful and still encounter someone emotionally unavailable. You could communicate clearly and still speak to someone who does not want the same things. You could do everything with integrity and still experience an ending. The existence of an ending does not reveal your rank. It reveals that human lives meet, affect one another, and sometimes continue in different directions. You are permitted to stop making every departure mean something humiliating about you. You are permitted to stop treating every disappointment as a spiritual examination you failed. You are permitted to admit that some people were never equipped to give what you kept hoping they would eventually learn to give. You are also permitted to admit that you sometimes stayed because hope felt easier than grief. That honesty does not diminish you. It restores proportion. It puts the past back into human size. You were never a person standing before a cosmic judge, waiting to be declared acceptable. You were a person trying to connect while carrying beliefs you had not yet examined. You did what people often do when they are afraid of losing affection. You adapted. You accommodated. You overthought. You forgave before trust had been rebuilt. You waited. You returned. You tried another explanation. You gave situations more time than they deserved because ending them felt like ending the dream attached to them. There was tenderness inside those choices. Even when the choices did not protect you, the motive was often deeply human. You wanted to believe. You wanted repair. You wanted your care to lead somewhere good. You wanted the ending to be different from the endings you already knew. There is no need to sneer at that hope. Hope itself was never the enemy. The painful part was asking hope to carry what evidence could not support. You can keep hope and add discernment. You can keep softness and add limits. You can keep faith in connection and stop making a single connection responsible for proving that faith correct. This is how your relationship with the old belief changes. You do not have to wrestle it to the ground. You do not have to shout over it. You can begin to see it as a sentence learned under particular conditions. A sentence is not a law. A familiar thought is not automatically a fact. A repeated fear is not prophecy. Something can live in your mind for 40 years and still be inaccurate. Duration does not create truth. Repetition does not create truth. Pain does not create truth. Even conviction does not always create truth. You may have believed the old conclusion so deeply that it seemed woven into your personality. It may have influenced what you tolerated, how quickly you apologized, what you expected, how easily you compared yourself, and how suspicious you became whenever someone treated you well. You may have felt safer preparing for disappointment than trusting kindness. You may have searched for the hidden problem whenever something was going smoothly. You may have wondered when the warmth would disappear. You may have questioned why someone liked you rather than letting yourself be liked. Old beliefs can make good things difficult to inhabit. They can turn kindness into something you have to investigate. They can make steadiness feel suspicious. They can make a healthy boundary feel like rejection. They can make ordinary independence feel like abandonment. They can make you look for the familiar pattern, because the familiar pattern, however painful, is recognizable. None of this means you are destined to repeat it. Recognition changes possibility. Once you see the old machinery, you are less likely to mistake every movement for truth. You can hear the thought and ask where it came from. You can feel the fear and ask whether the present actually supports it. You can remember how old you are now, not as a criticism, as orientation. You are not the child who had no choice but to adapt. You are not the younger version of yourself who had not yet gathered sufficient experience to see repeating patterns. You have years behind you, years of evidence, years of surviving, years of discovering what disappears and what remains. You have made it through losses without losing the whole of yourself. You have been overlooked and remained valuable. You have been misunderstood and remained real. You have made mistakes and remained deserving of compassion. You have changed your mind. You have begun again. You have lived sufficiently long to know that one painful season can lie convincingly about the rest of life. It can say nothing good is coming. Then something changes. It can say you will never recover. Then one morning, you realize you have gone several hours without thinking about what once consumed you. It can say you will always carry the same ache. Then the ache becomes memory. Your own life has already disproved many predictions made by fear. Let that count. You do not need to erase every old belief tonight. You only need to stop giving it automatic authority. There is another image your years can understand now. Think of a pond after something has stirred its bottom. The water clouds, fine sediment rises from below. The surface may still be recognizable as water, but what lies beneath cannot be seen clearly. The more the water is disturbed, the less it can reflect. The sky remains above it. The trees remain beside it. The light remains available. Nothing outside the pond has disappeared, but the water is too unsettled to show what is there. You may have lived many emotional moments this way. Something stirred you. A silence, a memory, a change in someone's behavior, a comparison, a fear about getting older, a thought about how life was supposed to look by now. The inner water became cloudy. Then you tried to see clearly while continuing to stir it. You asked more questions. You replayed more conversations. You searched more closely. You compared more aggressively. You tried to predict what would happen. You examined yourself from every possible angle. Each effort felt like a search for clarity. Yet every new disturbance lifted more sediment. This is one of the great contradictions of worry. It believes constant mental movement will produce certainty. Often it produces more cloudiness. You keep looking into moving water and deciding the reflection must be broken. The reflection is not broken. The water is disturbed. That distinction changes everything. There are moments when the kindest thing you can do for your mind is stop touching the question for a while. Not forever. Not because the question does not matter. Because a stirred mind is not always the best place from which to make a decision. A disturbed pond does not become clear because someone reaches into it and tries to push the sediment down. It clears through settling, particle by particle, without argument, without force. What rose slowly descends. The water does not become something new. It returns to its own clarity. This is how some truths come back to you, not through greater pressure, through less disturbance. You have probably experienced this without naming it. A problem felt impossible late at night. By morning, it looked different. A conversation seemed catastrophic while emotion was high. Hours later, you could see what actually mattered. You wanted to send 10 paragraphs. After sleeping, you needed 3 sentences. You thought you had to decide immediately. A day passed and urgency loosened. Nothing magical happened. The inner water settled. You could see more because you had stopped stirring. This does not mean every difficult feeling disappears with rest. Some things remain painful in the morning. Some decisions remain hard. Some losses remain losses. Clarity is not the same as getting the answer you wanted. Sometimes clarity reveals that what you wanted is not what is available. Sometimes it shows that you have been trying to revive something that has already shown you its limits. Sometimes it shows that the relationship is workable, but your fear has been adding meanings that the facts do not support. Sometimes it reveals that you need a conversation. Sometimes it reveals that you have already had the conversation several times. The value of clarity is not that it always comforts you. The value is that it lets you respond to what is actually there. Your old fear often preferred motion because motion postponed seeing. If you kept sending messages, you did not have to discover whether someone would reach toward you without prompting. If you kept explaining, you did not have to discover whether they understood and still chose not to respond differently. If you kept making exceptions, you did not have to confront the pattern. If you kept improving yourself, you did not have to question whether self-improvement was ever the issue. Stillness can reveal things effort hides. That is why calm can feel frightening at first. It removes some of your favorite distractions. It takes your hands out of the water. It says, we are going to let this settle until you can see. You may discover that the reflection becomes clearer than expected. You may see your own face without the distortion created by panic. You may see that you were never as powerless as fear claimed. You may see that your desire to be loved became tangled with a desire to be vindicated. You wanted a particular person to choose you, partly because their choice seemed capable of erasing every earlier rejection. You wanted the ending to change because you thought a different ending would repair your history. You wanted proof that all the effort had been meaningful. These are painful realizations, but they are freeing. No single person has the authority to repair your entire past. No single relationship can retroactively turn every old wound into a sense of your value. Your life is larger than that. Your identity is larger than that. The pond does not require the sky to descend into it before the sky can be reflected. It needs the surface to become quiet so it can show what was already above. Your own value works differently from approval in the same way. You do not manufacture it through another person's response. You become quiet and stop obscuring it with every passing disturbance. Imagine the pond in evening light. Not dramatically, no performance. The water has been stirred by wind, footsteps near the edge, perhaps a stone that broke the surface some time ago. At first, the bottom is invisible. Small particles hang everywhere. The reflection is fragmented. If you judged the pond in that moment, you might call it muddy. You might believe it cannot reflect anything beautiful. Then nobody touches it. Minutes pass. The movement becomes smaller. The ripples widen and fade. What was suspended begins to sink. The water becomes less busy. A section of sky appears, then more. The edge of a cloud, the quiet outline of a branch. Eventually, the whole surface can carry what was above it all along. Nothing was added to create that clarity. Something was left alone. This is important for you. You may have spent much of your life believing restoration required more effort, more reading, more understanding, more fixing, more self-analysis, more trying to become a person who never feels insecurity again. There is a place for insight. There is a place for learning. There is a place for deliberate change. But not every healing moment is created by doing more. Some happen when you stop interfering with yourself. You stop revisiting the same accusation. You stop comparing today's body to an earlier body. You stop making age into a courtroom. You stop reopening an old rejection to ask whether the verdict has changed. You stop demanding an immediate answer from a future that has not happened. You stop measuring your desirability through memories selected by fear. You stop stirring. And underneath all that movement, something steadier has room to appear. You remember that you are a whole person before anyone arrives. You remember that a relationship is an addition to your life, not a rescue from your own existence. You remember that being older does not mean being emptied of possibility. You remember that tenderness can deepen with time. Discernment can deepen. Humor can deepen. Patience can deepen. The ability to recognize what is genuine can deepen. The capacity to say no without hatred can deepen. The ability to say yes without abandoning yourself can deepen. These qualities change how you relate. They change what you find attractive. They change what you are willing to normalize. They change how quickly you confuse attention with substance. Your years have put sediment into the water, yes. Memo, raised losses, regrets, things you wish had been different, but years have also given you depth. A shallow surface is easily disturbed. Depth can hold movement without becoming nothing but movement. You are deeper than the thought passing through you tonight. Deeper than one old belief, deeper than the opinion of someone who could not stay, deeper than the age you see on paper, deeper than one season of loneliness, deeper than one missed opportunity. There is history in you, and history does not have to be a burden. It can become perspective. When the inner water settles, perspective returns. You begin to see that the younger version of you was not foolish. She was learning. You begin to see that the years you call wasted still taught you what you no longer want to repeat. You begin to see that being disappointed by someone did not make your tenderness a mistake. You begin to see that being generous in the wrong place does not mean generosity itself was wrong. You begin to separate the quality in you from the place where you offered it. That separation is powerful. You may have offered loyalty to someone inconsistent. The lesson is not that loyalty is foolish. The lesson may be to give loyalty where loyalty can live mutually. You may have offered patience to someone who kept postponing accountability. The lesson is not that patience is weakness. The lesson may be to pair patience with evidence. You may have offered second chances where no real change followed. The lesson is not that forgiveness is dangerous. The lesson may be that forgiveness and continued access are different decisions. You may have opened your heart before someone demonstrated steadiness. The lesson is not to close your heart forever. The lesson may be to let openness have pacing. Your good qualities do not need to die because they were once used in environments that could not honor them. They need wiser placement. The pond does not blame the water for becoming cloudy when it is disturbed. Cloudiness is what stirred water does. Your mind does not need blame for becoming confused under pressure. Confusion is what a frightened mind can do, but you can change the conditions. You can stop throwing another stone. You can stop poking at what is trying to settle. You can stop waking the same old story just to check whether it still hurts. There is no prize for keeping pain active. There is no loyalty required to an old identity. You are not betraying your past by becoming peaceful. You are not forgetting what happened by refusing to relive it every night. You are not excusing someone by deciding their behavior no longer deserves daily space in your mind. You are letting sediment fall. Some memories may continue to rise. A song, a date, a place, a sentence, a photograph. A quiet hour when the mind has fewer distractions. You do not need to panic when that happens. Clear pond can be stirred again. That does not mean it has lost its nature. It settles again. This is a more humane understanding of healing. You do not have to reach a state where nothing ever affects you. You do not have to become permanently calm. You do not have to prove spiritual mastery by feeling nothing. You can be moved. You can have difficult nights. You can miss someone you know is not right for you. You can feel old insecurity without rebuilding your life around it. The water can move without becoming permanently unclear. That is resilience, not never being disturbed. Returning. You know how to return more than you think. You have returned from grief, from embarrassment, from rejection, from plans that failed, from seasons when you did not recognize yourself. You have returned from versions of your life you were certain would last forever. You have returned from things you rarely speak about now. Why would you assume you cannot return from this? The years behind you contain evidence of recovery. Let them speak tonight, not loudly. They do not need to compete with fear. They can remain like depth beneath the surface. You have been here before in different forms. You have thought something was final when it was only a chapter. You have thought a closed door meant the end of possibility. You have thought loneliness would last longer than it did. You have thought you would never stop caring about someone in the same painful way. Then time did what time sometimes does. It changed your relationship to what happened. It gave you distance. It gave you context. It showed you pieces you could not see while you were inside the emotion. That same process can happen again. You do not have to force it tonight. Your task is smaller. Leave the water alone. You do not need one more comparison, one more imaginary conversation, one more argument with your reflection, one more attempt to decide whether you were sufficiently desirable 5 years ago, 10 years ago yesterday. One more inspection of every mistake. One more prediction about what age means for your future. Let those questions rest at the edge. They will still be there tomorrow if they truly need your attention. You do not lose wisdom by sleeping. You often gain access to it. The surface can become quieter while you do nothing at all. This is not passivity. It is trust in a process that pressure cannot accelerate. The pond does not negotiate with sediment. It gives gravity time. You can give truth time too. What is real does not need panic to remain real. What belongs in your life does not become more genuine because you worry about it all night. What is unhealthy does not become healthier because you explain it to yourself until dawn. Morning does not require you to solve tonight. Tonight has another purpose: to become less stirred, to stop asking moving water for a perfect reflection, to stop judging yourself while the mind is clouded by old fear, to remember that clarity returns through calm. You are not required to manufacture the sky. It is already there. You are not required to create your humanity. It is already here. You are not required to earn the right to belong to yourself. That belonging existed before anyone approved of you. Your work now is to disturb it less, to stop throwing every rejection into the water as proof, to stop dragging every comparison across the surface, to stop treating each birthday as another reason to doubt your future, to stop asking one person's uncertainty to define what life can still contain. You can let the surface clear, slowly, quietly, at its own pace. The sediment knows how to fall. The water knows how to become transparent again. Your deeper mind knows more than tonight's fear. Your life has more evidence than one painful memory. Your future has more room than one old sentence permits you to see. You do not need to reach for clarity. You can become still and let clarity return. And as the inner water settles, the old judgment begins losing the reflection it once distorted. Clarity changes the way you speak to yourself. When the inner water is restless, every thought can sound urgent. Every fear can seem like instruction. Every old memory can present itself as evidence. In that state, it is easy to confuse intensity with truth. But as the surface settles, another voice becomes easier to hear. Not a louder voice, a steadier one. It does not argue with you. It does not demand that you become someone new before morning. It does not insist that you forget the past. It does not tell you that every difficult feeling must disappear before you are permitted to trust yourself again. It says something quieter, something your years have prepared you to understand. You do not need to earn your place by exhausting yourself. Read that slowly inside. Some part of you may resist those words. That is all right. Resistance does not mean the words are wrong. Resistance often appears when a new belief contradicts a habit that has been practiced for years. If you spent decades proving, accommodating, explaining, adapting, performing, anticipating, and carrying more than your share, a different way of living can feel unfamiliar even when it is healthier. The mind may ask, if I stop trying so hard, what will hold everything together? That question reveals how much responsibility you may have been carrying. You may have learned to believe that connection survives because you maintain it. That peace exists because you prevent conflict. That people stay because you remain useful. That relationships continue because you forgive quickly. That affection lasts because you ask for little. If those assumptions were planted early, relaxing your effort can feel dangerous. You may fear that everything will fall apart. Sometimes something does fall apart when you stop carrying it alone. That can hurt, but it also reveals something important. If a connection can exist only while one person constantly compensates for the absence of the other, the connection was already asking too much from one side. You did not destroy it by becoming less exhausted. You discovered how much of it depended on your exhaustion. There is wisdom in that discovery. Painful wisdom, perhaps. Useful wisdom. You can let it become part of your clarity without turning it into bitterness. You do not need to punish anyone. You do not need to decide that every person who disappointed you was cruel. People can be limited without being monstrous. People can care and still be unable to meet you well. People can mean what they say in one moment and lack the maturity to live it consistently. People can have good qualities and still be poor partners for your life. People can be struggling and still create harm. Compassion can acknowledge all of this. Your life does not require villains before you are permitted to choose peace. That may be one of the most liberating truths you learn with age. You do not need a courtroom. You need discernment. You do not need to win the argument about who was right. You need to know what you can live with. You do not need another person to admit everything before you take your own experience seriously. You can trust repeated evidence. You can trust the way your body changes around certain dynamics. You can trust the exhaustion that arrives after another round of explaining. You can trust the quiet relief you feel when you stop trying to secure something that never felt secure. This is where your inner relationship begins to change from negotiation to companionship. For years, you may have spoken to yourself as if you were a difficult employee whose performance was always being reviewed. Do better. Be easier. Do not need so much. Do not react. Do not ask. Do not upset anyone. Do not make mistakes. Do not appear uncertain. Do not get older visibly. Do not let anyone see how deeply you care. That voice promised protection. It believed criticism would make you safer. It thought that if it identified every flaw before anyone else could, you would be prepared. But constant self-correction does not create deep security. It creates vigilance. And vigilance may help you survive certain environments, but it is not where you are meant to live forever. Your mind deserves another tone, one that tells the truth and remains kind. One that can say you made a poor choice without saying you are a poor person. One that can say this relationship hurt you without saying you were foolish to care. One that can say you ignored your own signal without declaring that you can never trust yourself again. One that can say you want more now because you understand yourself more clearly. This is maturity without humiliation. It is strong because it does not need cruelty to create change. The pond teaches you this too. Clear water does not insult the sediment for having risen. It settles. Nothing inside it is shamed into place. The particles descend because the conditions have changed. You can create different conditions within yourself. Less accusation, less frantic interpretation, less comparison, less rehearsal of rejection, more space before reaction, more respect for evidence, more patience with your own learning, more willingness to remain beside yourself when someone else does not. This is how a new inner sentence begins to become believable, not because you repeat it 1,000 times while living against it, because your choices begin supporting it. Let the words return. Let them rest there. No pressure, no demand that every part of you agree immediately. You may have a part that says, "But I have always had to work for what I have." Honor the life behind that statement. You may indeed have worked very hard. You may have carried responsibilities nobody saw. You may have learned self-reliance because there was no dependable alternative. You may have built stability through discipline. You may have survived by becoming capable. Capability is not the problem. The question is whether you turned capability into a requirement for being cared for. There is a difference between being proud of what you can carry and assuming you must carry everything alone. There is a difference between contribution and over-functioning. There is a difference between generosity and self-erasure. There is a difference between patience and indefinite waiting. You can keep your strength without making strain your identity. You can remain capable without using capability to deny your need for support. You can be a person who gives and still expect mutuality. You can be dependable and still decline what repeatedly drains you. You can be compassionate and still have a limit. You can be warm and still leave a door closed when reopening. It would return you to the same injury. A smaller sentence may feel easier tonight. If the larger affirmation feels too distant, use this one. I am willing to stop proving myself through strain. No force, just willingness. Willingness is powerful because it leaves room for truth to enter without demanding instant transformation. You do not have to wake tomorrow with every pattern erased. You can wake with one new hesitation before the old reaction. One breath before answering. One moment before apologizing unnecessarily. One question before agreeing. One look at evidence before believing fear. One small act of loyalty toward yourself. These choices accumulate. They become a new pattern. And over time, the new pattern changes what you tolerate. You begin to sense when you are abandoning yourself earlier. You begin to recognize the bodily feeling of overgiving. You begin to hear the moment your own sentence changes from "this is what I want" to "this is what I will accept so I am not alone." That moment matters. It is where a boundary is often born. A boundary is not punishment. It is not a threat. It is not a method for forcing another person to behave differently. It is not a way to make someone afraid of losing you. A boundary tells you what you will participate in. It gives structure to your values. It says, I cannot control the way you speak, but I can decide what conversations I remain in. It says, I cannot control whether you are consistent, but I can decide whether inconsistency gets unlimited access to my time. It says, I cannot make you be honest, but I can decide what I do when trust is repeatedly broken. It says, I cannot force readiness, but I can stop building my future around indefinite hesitation. This is different from trying to control someone. Control reaches outward. A boundary returns responsibility inward. It asks, what will I do with what I now know? That question becomes clearer with age. You have less interest in spending years debating what experience has already demonstrated. Not because your life has become smaller, because your time has become more precious. You understand now that attention is a form of life. Where your attention goes, hours follow, days follow, sometimes years follow. You do not have to give years to confusion simply because confusion once felt familiar. You can become more selective with what receives your attention. Not every message deserves analysis. Not every silence deserves interpretation. Not every person deserves unlimited access. Not every old wound deserves another evening. Not every possibility deserves a place at the center of your life. Your standards become meaningful when they protect what matters. Your sleep, your dignity, your peace of mind, your ability to speak honestly, your safety, your capacity to care without disappearing, your freedom to be a whole person rather than a performance designed to prevent abandonment. These are not excessive desires. They are part of a healthy life. And healthy limits do not guarantee that everyone will stay. That is important. There is no honest practice that can promise you control over another person's choices. Some people may move closer when you become clearer. Others may step away. Some connections may improve through more honest communication. Others may reveal that they depended on your silence. Your task is not to use boundaries as a strategy for producing a preferred reaction. Your task is to become more truthful about what you need in order to remain well. That truth may include support beyond affirmations. If a relationship harms your body, threatens your safety, controls your movements, isolates you, intimidates you, or repeatedly leaves you afraid, self-worth words alone are not the answer. Real support matters. Practical help matters. Safety matters. Trusted people matter. Professional resources can matter. You deserve more than a beautiful sentence when something is dangerous. And there is no spiritual achievement in enduring harm. You do not prove devotion by remaining unsafe. You do not prove compassion by giving someone unlimited opportunities to injure you. You do not prove maturity by handling everything alone. Seeking help can be an act of deep self-respect. Keep that truth near the rest of this work. Because the aim here is not fantasy. It is readiness. Readiness to treat yourself differently. Readiness to identify what is mutual. Readiness to stop persuading yourself to accept what repeatedly diminishes you. Readiness to meet future connection from clearer ground. You cannot promise yourself a particular person. You cannot command life to deliver affection on your preferred timetable. You can become increasingly prepared to recognize sincerity when it appears. You can become less available for patterns that keep you in doubt. You can become more comfortable with the quiet that comes before clarity. That quiet may once have felt like emptiness. Now it can become space. Space to see. Space to choose. Space to remember that you are not running out of life simply because you are older than you once were. Age does not remove the possibility of intimacy. It changes what intimacy can mean. At 20, attraction may have seemed sufficient to create a future in your imagination. Later, you may want attraction and steadiness, warmth and accountability, desire and respect, chemistry and kindness, closeness and room to remain yourself. You have earned the right to let your understanding become more complete, not because you are entitled to perfection from another person, because you know more about the conditions in which you flourish. You know what chronic uncertainty does to you. You know how much time can disappear inside hope unsupported by action. You know the cost of pretending not to need what you truly need. You know that excitement is not always compatibility. You know that somebody wanting you does not automatically mean they can build with you. These lessons are not scars that make you less attractive. They are information that can make your future choices more discerning. Imagine again the surface of that pond. When the water is clear, it does not reach upward and grab the sky. It reflects without pursuing. It does not plead with the cloud to remain. It does not become less beautiful because the cloud moves. It does not become more valuable because sunlight touches it. The surface holds what arrives without trying to imprison it. There is a lesson here for your relationships. You kiki and appreciate without clutching. You can care without trying to possess the outcome. You can be moved by someone and still remain in your own life. You can be delighted by affection without turning affection into proof of your identity. You can let people come closer at the pace their actions support. You can let someone's character reveal itself over time. You do not have to rush intimacy because you fear the opportunity will disappear. You do not have to make a future from one beautiful evening. You do not have to give immediate trust because someone expresses strong interest. You can enjoy what is happening and still let the water remain clear. This is a different kind of confidence. It is not the confidence that says, everyone will want me. That would be unrealistic. It is the confidence that says, I do not have to turn every person's response into information about my human value. That confidence is quieter and more durable. It gives other people freedom to be who they are, and it gives you freedom to choose accordingly. You may discover that some of your old habits were attempts to speed up certainty. You wanted to know quickly, where is this going? How do they feel? Will they stay? Do I matter? Is this the one? Will I finally be safe? Those questions can place extraordinary weight on early moments. A simple connection becomes responsible for answering your entire future. No person can carry that honestly. Let time help you now. Time reveals. It reveals whether words become action. It reveals whether kindness survives inconvenience. It reveals whether respect continues after familiarity grows. It reveals whether another person can hear no. It reveals whether apologies become changed behavior. It reveals whether care flows in more than one direction. You do not need to rush this information. Your years have taught you what rushing can hide. Let your experience become patience. not the old patience that accepts anything, a wiser patience, the patience to watch, the patience to remain yourself, the patience not to crown possibility before it becomes pattern, the patience to let a clear pond show what is actually above it. This changes your expectations without making them rigid. You can want consistency and understand that every person has imperfect days. You can want communication and understand that people need space. You can want respect and understand that disagreement is unavoidable. You can want closeness and understand that healthy people have separate lives. A stronger standard is not an impossible demand. It is a refusal to normalize repeated harm, neglect, contempt, manipulation, or chronic uncertainty as the price of connection. You can distinguish an imperfect moment from a damaging pattern. Your years help with that. You have context now. You have seen what temporary stress looks like. You have also seen what repeated avoidance looks like. You have seen genuine repair. You have seen apologies used only to reset a cycle. You have seen people who make mistakes and take responsibility. You have seen people who make the same mistake and ask you to become more tolerant of it. That knowledge can protect you without making you hard. You can remain compassionate. You can keep your sense of humor. You can remain curious about people. You can remain open to surprise. You can still fall in love. You can still feel excited. You can still be moved by a voice, a conversation, a gesture, a shared silence. Wisdom does not require you to drain life of feeling. It helps you stop sacrificing yourself to feeling. There is a difference. You can enjoy the current without letting it carry you past every sign. You can appreciate depth without losing direction. You can let emotion have a place without making it the only voice in the room. Your discernment belongs beside your heart now. They do not have to fight. Your heart can say, I care. Your discernment can say, let us see how this unfolds. Your heart can say, I miss them. Your discernment can say, missing is not the same as belonging together. Your heart can say, I want this. Your discernment can say, wanting does not require self-abandonment. Your heart can say, give another chance. Your discernment can ask whether anything has actually changed. This cooperation is powerful. It lets you remain tender without becoming defenseless. It lets you remain hopeful without becoming easy to mislead. It lets you carry warmth without handing over your entire center. That center is returning to you. Like clear water after disturbance, you are beginning to see what anxiety kept obscuring. You are not here to audition. You are not here to bargain for ordinary regard. You are not here to become increasingly convenient until someone finally recognizes what you hoped they would recognize. Your task is to become more faithful to what your life has taught you. This does not require dramatic announcements. One quiet decision can change a great deal. You may stop answering disrespect immediately. You may stop apologizing for a reasonable request. You may stop pursuing a conversation that only moves when you push it. You may stop postponing your own plans in case someone else becomes available. You may stop accepting uncertainty as an indefinite relationship status. You may stop making excuses for behavior that has already become a pattern. Whatever your decision is, it belongs to you. And if one particular standard is becoming clearer tonight, you can name it softly. If you wish, leave that standard in the comments in a few honest words, not as a promise to be perfect, as a marker of what you are beginning to honor. Maybe it is reciprocity. Maybe it is honesty. Maybe it is consistency. Maybe it is respect. Maybe it is safety. It may be speaking plainly. Maybe it is no longer abandoning yourself to avoid disappointing another person. Choose the one that feels most real. Then let it be enough for tonight. You do not need 10 new rules. One lived change is more valuable than 20 impressive declarations. Your mind trusts evidence. Give it evidence slowly. Say no once where you would normally say yes from fear. Ask clearly once instead of hinting repeatedly. Wait for action rather than filling every gap with hope. Let somebody reveal whether they can meet you without constant instruction. Keep one evening for yourself instead of rearranging everything. Rest when nothing requires solving. These are small acts. Small acts become character. Character becomes a life. And a life built from self-respect begins to feel different from the inside. Less frantic, less performative, less dependent on being interpreted correctly by everyone. You become more comfortable with being misunderstood by people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You become less interested in explaining your humanity to someone determined not to see it. You become less frightened by temporary solitude. You discover that empty space is not always abandonment. Sometimes it is the place where your own voice becomes audible again. Sometimes it is where a better decision forms. Sometimes it is where fatigue finally catches up and is permitted to rest. Sometimes it is where grief completes a movement that constant distraction had interrupted. Sometimes it is where you remember what you liked before another person's mood became the center of every day. Space can return parts of you. Interests, friendships, creativity, sleep, attention, curiosity, your sense of humor, your own pace, your morning, your evening, your future. A life is made of these ordinary things. Do not underestimate them. The most meaningful transformation may not be that somebody finally arrives and chooses you. It may be that you stop treating your life as a waiting room until someone does. You begin inhabiting it now. You cook for yourself with care. You answer the friend who consistently shows up. You keep the plan that matters to you. You walk outside. You finish the book. You laugh without checking your phone. You sleep without rehearsing tomorrow's conversation. You become more present inside the life already holding you. This is not giving up on companionship. It is refusing to postpone yourself. And from that fuller life, connection can be met more honestly. You do not need another person to rescue you from emptiness because you are no longer intentionally emptying your life while waiting for them. You bring a life. They bring a life. Something mutual can grow between. That is different from two people asking one another to solve every private wound. You can still need. You see, and still lean. You can still ask for help. Interdependence is human. The difference is that you are no longer making another person responsible for settling every movement inside your water. You learn how to return to yourself. You learn when to speak, when to wait, when to seek support, when to sleep, when to let a question remain unanswered until daylight. And now, let the core sentence come back one more time. Perhaps it lands differently after all of this. Let it move through you without force. If part of you believes it, let that part rest. If part of you doubts it, let that part rest too. No inner argument tonight. You can carry both. The old conditioning, the new possibility. For a while, they may live side by side. That is how change often happens. One voice says, prove more. Another says, I have already shown who I am. One says, hurry. Another says, let time reveal. One says, accept this before there is nothing. Another says, scarcity is not a good reason to betray myself. One says, you are too old to be selective. Another says, my years have taught me to choose with greater care. Listen to the second voice a little longer. It has lived too. It has survived. It has learned. It has watched so much water become clear that panic is not the only way forward. You do not have to force tomorrow. You do not have to secure the future from your bed. You do not have to decide whether someone will finally understand you. You do not have to know exactly who will remain. You do not have to know when the next beautiful chapter begins. For tonight, readiness is sufficient. Readiness to stand beside yourself. Readiness to believe behavior. Readiness to ask for what matters. Readiness to walk away from what repeatedly harms your peace. Readiness to accept care without suspicion when care proves steady. Readiness to remain open without becoming unprotected. Readiness to let age become discernment. Readiness to let the inner surface clear. The sky does not need your pursuit. The reflection does not need your strain. The water does not need your criticism. It needs less disturbance. Your life may need the same, less forcing, less self-prosecution, less bargaining, more truth, more rest, more time, more room to see. And perhaps, beneath everything you have tried to prove, there has always been a quieter truth waiting for the water to become still enough to show it. You do not need to disturb yourself to discover who you are. The quieter part of you has been waiting beneath all the movement. It has watched the years in which you tried to become more acceptable, more understandable, easier to keep, harder to leave, simpler to approve of. It has watched you carry questions that were never fully yours. It has watched you take responsibility for moods you did not create and endings you could not control. It has never hated you for any of it. It has only waited for the inner surface to become quiet enough for another truth to appear. You are still here. Your capacity for tenderness is still here. Your discernment is stronger. Your voice is clearer. Your life has not become smaller because certain hopes changed shape. There are parts of you that no rejection ever reached. There are parts of you that no delayed reply ever defined. There are parts of you that existed before comparison and will remain after comparison loses its hold. You do not have to force yourself to believe this all at once. Tonight, belief can begin as permission to stop arguing. You can stop asking whether your age disqualifies you. You can stop asking whether another person's hesitation is evidence against you. You can stop asking whether every previous disappointment predicts the next chapter. Questions can rest without being answered. The water can clear without being examined. And the clearer it becomes, the less you need to use movement as proof that something is happening. A quiet life is still a life. A quiet heart is still alive. A quiet season can contain preparation that cannot be seen from the outside. There is no need to create drama just to reassure yourself that possibility remains. You can let possibility exist without chasing its shape. You can let tomorrow remain unopened. You can let another person be unknown. You can let yourself be unfinished. None of these conditions reduce you. There is a sentence I want you to carry now, not as a command, but as a place to rest your attention. I let calm reveal my unchanged value. Let the sentence arrive without pressure. I let calm reveal my unchanged value. And once more, only as softly as you can hold it, I let calm reveal my unchanged value. If some part of you says, I do not believe that yet, there is room for that part too. It does not need to be silenced. It may have spent years protecting you through doubt. It may believe suspicion prevents disappointment. It may believe self-criticism keeps you prepared. It may believe that if you expect less, you will hurt less. You can thank that old strategy for trying to protect you without allowing it to plan the rest of your life. A smaller sentence is available. I am willing to see myself more clearly. That is enough for tonight. No dramatic transformation, no forced certainty. The pond does not become clear through insistence. It becomes clear because disturbance stops. Your inner world can learn from that. You do not have to push every fear away. You can stop feeding it with more movement. You do not have to settle every doubt. You can stop treating doubt as a command. You do not have to solve the question of who will enter your life. You can become more faithful to the life that is already yours. This is where readiness becomes practical. It lives in how you speak to yourself tomorrow. It lives in whether you cancel your own plans for vague possibility. It lives in whether you interpret another person's delay before you have facts. It lives in whether you apologize for a need that was expressed respectfully. It lives in whether you keep offering access after trust has repeatedly been damaged. It lives in whether you can enjoy attention without immediately building a future around it. It lives in whether you remember that being interested in someone does not remove your right to evaluate how the connection feels. These are ordinary choices. They are also powerful. A life changes through repeated ordinary choices. The new pattern may begin in silence. You read a message that once would have sent you into hours of interpretation. This time, you read it once. You let it be what it is. You return to your evening. You do not invent missing information. You do not turn a brief sentence into a judgment of your entire desirability. You do not rush to repair something that has not been named as broken. You stay with yourself. Another day, someone disappoints you. You feel it. You do not pretend. You also do not turn the disappointment into a conclusion about your future. You ask what actually happened. You separate fact from fear. You decide what response, if any, respects you. Then you continue living. Another time, warmth arrives. You enjoy it. You do not interrogate it. You do not immediately fear its disappearance. You let a kind moment be kind. You let consistency prove itself over time. You do not demand guarantees from a beginning. You remain present. This is what a clear inner surface gives you. Not control, perspective, not immunity, room, not certainty, choice. There will still be days when old reactions rise. A memory may disturb the surface. A date may bring back a version of you that still aches. A new connection may awaken fears you thought had disappeared. You may be surprised by how quickly your mind returns to an old assumption. Do not make that return another accusation. Water can be stirred and still know how to settle. You can be triggered and still know how to return. You can have an insecure thought without building a home inside it. You can feel jealous without deciding you are inferior. You can feel lonely without deciding you are unwanted. You can miss someone without deciding you should contact them. You can feel uncertain without deciding you must act immediately. You can feel deeply and still wait for clarity. That is emotional strength, not the absence of feeling, the ability to remain beside yourself while feeling moves. Your years have given you more capacity for this than you may realize. You have already sat with many feelings that once seemed impossible. You have learned that intensity passes. You have learned that mourning changes perspective. You have learned that some answers become obvious after you stop forcing them. You have learned that the person you are after a difficult season is often more informed than the person who entered it. Use that knowledge kindly. You are not starting from nothing. You are starting from experience. And experience can become an ally rather than a list of reasons to be afraid. You can remember the past without expecting it to repeat. You can honor what hurt without making hurt your identity. You can take a lesson without carrying the entire classroom with you. You can let old sediment remain on the bottom instead of stirring it every time something new begins. This is especially important when someone treats you well. The old mind may rush to compare. How long will this last? When will they change? What do they really want? What if I become attached? What if I am fooled again? Those questions may appear because you have history. You do not need to obey all of them. Healthy caution does not require constant suspicion. You can watch behavior calmly. You can let time answer what time is better suited to answer. You can remain observant without becoming consumed. You can keep your life, your routines, your friendships, your interests, your sense of pace. You can let closeness grow beside your life rather than replacing it. This helps keep the inner water clear. It means one person's mood does not become the weather of your entire day. One canceled plan does not erase the rest of your week. One disagreement does not erase your identity. One compliment does not create it. One silence does not destroy it. You remain. That word matters. Remain. You remain when someone misunderstands you. You remain when somebody chooses another direction. You remain when a relationship changes. You remain when your body changes. You remain when a decade closes. You remain when an old role no longer fits. You remain through the seasons in which you must learn yourself again. The form changes. The depth remains. This is why age can become concentration. You begin to waste less time on what does not deserve years. You begin to distinguish loneliness from incompatibility. You begin to prefer a quiet evening to a confusing attachment that keeps your mind unsettled. You begin to see that peace is not a consolation prize. It is part of a meaningful life. You begin to value being able to hear yourself. You begin to understand that a healthy connection should not require permanent internal noise. This does not make life emotionless. It makes emotion more honest. You are free to feel joy without clinging. You are free to feel sadness without making it destiny. You are free to desire without bargaining. You are free to care without disappearing. You are free to be disappointed without degrading yourself. You are free to change your mind. You are free to become more selective. You are free to say that what was acceptable 5 years ago is no longer acceptable now. Growth often changes your tolerance. That is not hypocrisy. It is learning. The person you are today is permitted to know something the person you were once did not know. You can update your choices. You can raise the quality of what you participate in. You can become less available for ambiguity that continues indefinitely. You can stop calling confusion romantic. You can stop calling emotional depletion loyalty. You can stop calling silence maturity when what you really mean is fear of speaking. You can stop calling your own needs excessive simply because someone else found them inconvenient. You can tell the truth in simple language. This works for me. This does not. I need time. I am not comfortable with that. I would like clarity. I cannot continue this pattern. No speech required. No need to make anyone agree. Your truth does not become false because another person dislikes it. And another person's truth does not become false because it disappoints you. Two people can want different things. Two people can care and still be incompatible. Two people can respect each other and still choose separate paths. Acceptance of reality can hurt without humiliating either person. That is another form of maturity. It lets you leave some stories without needing someone to be wrong. It lets you grieve what could not continue. It lets you keep the lesson and release the struggle. It lets the sediment fall. The mind may still revisit. When it does, you can recognize the movement. There is the old question again. There is the old comparison. There is the old fear that time has closed every door. There is the old habit of measuring your life against another person's timeline. You do not have to climb into each thought. You can let it pass through the water. No stirring, no debate, no verdict, just recognition. Then return to what is here. The room, the bed, the weight of your body, the quiet around you, this night, this breath, this moment that asks nothing from you. You have spent too many hours living in imagined futures. Tonight can belong to the present, not the future where somebody finally understands, not the past where somebody failed to. Here, now. A life is happening here. You are part of it. You do not have to wait until your relationship status changes to begin respecting your own days. You do not have to postpone beauty until companionship arrives. You do not have to hold your happiness in reserve. You do not have to become perfect before enjoying your own company. You can create a life that has substance now. And if connection enters, it enters a life already being lived. That changes the posture completely. You are no longer asking, will you save me from my empty life? You are asking, can we meet honestly inside two real lives? You are no longer saying, please make me feel chosen. You are saying, let us see whether choosing is mutual. You are no longer saying, tell me who I am. You are saying, I am learning who I am, and I am interested in who you truly are. There is room in that. There is less pressure in that. The water stays clearer. There is another shift that becomes possible here. You begin to understand that openness does not mean immediate access. A person can be welcomed slowly. Trust can be built gradually. Interest can exist without obligation. You can enjoy what is unfolding without promising your whole future to it. This gives your heart time to learn what your mind cannot know on the first day. Does this person respect your pace? Do they remain thoughtful when things are inconvenient? Can they hear a different opinion without withdrawing affection? Can they apologize without turning the apology into another argument? Can they accept your independence without treating it as rejection? Can they be curious about your needs rather than threatened by them? These questions do not need to be asked like an interview. Life answers them naturally. Routine answers them. Time answers them. Small disappointments answer them. Ordinary days answer them. This is why you no longer have to rush towards certainty. Clarity grows through observation. You can remain warm while watching. You can remain interested while learning. You can let another person surprise you in good ways. You can also let information disappoint you without immediately trying to change it. That is difficult when hope is strong. Hope likes to edit. It emphasizes the beautiful moment and minimizes the repeated problem. It remembers the apology and forgets how often the same wound followed. It highlights potential. It can become very creative when reality is painful. Hope needs companionship too. Let discernment sit beside it. Then you do not have to kill hope. You only keep it connected to what is happening. If behavior improves consistently, you can acknowledge that. If it does not, you can acknowledge that too. This balanced seeing protects your softness. It prevents you from becoming cynical simply because you once stayed too long. You do not need to expect betrayal in order to avoid self-betrayal. You only need to stay awake to your own experience. You can ask yourself after time together, do I feel more settled or more confused? Do I feel free to speak? Am I constantly trying to manage the impression I make? Do I feel respected when I disagree? Does closeness expand my life or consume my attention? There is no perfect answer. Relationships move. People have difficult weeks. Stress affects behavior. You are not searching for flawless conditions. You are listening for the larger pattern. A clear surface shows patterns more faithfully. When the water is constantly disturbed, everything appears distorted. You may magnify one affectionate gesture until it fills the whole surface. You may magnify one fearful thought until it hides every good sign. Calm helps proportion return. One kind action can be appreciated as one kind action. One mistake can be addressed as one mistake. A repeated pattern can be recognized as repeated. Proportion is a form of wisdom. It prevents idealization. It prevents unnecessary catastrophe. It keeps you close to reality. And reality, even when imperfect, is a safer place to build from than fantasy or fear. You may find this especially meaningful after many years of carrying stories about what should have happened by now. Perhaps you once imagined a particular timeline, a certain kind of partnership, a certain home, a certain feeling of certainty, a certain age by which everything would make sense. Life may not have followed the picture. That does not mean it failed. A life cannot be measured only against an old prediction. The person who made that prediction did not know everything you would learn. She did not know what you would outgrow. She did not know what you would survive. She did not know which dreams would change because you changed. You are allowed to want something different now. You are allowed to redefine a meaningful life. You are allowed to let companionship matter without making it the only measure of fulfillment. You are allowed to discover that peace, friendship, purpose, creativity, family, solitude, contribution, play, and affection can form a rich life in many arrangements. This takes pressure away from every new encounter. No stranger has to become your destiny. No promising beginning has to carry all your hopes. No ending has to erase the future. You can meet what comes as it comes. This is not resignation. It is spaciousness. The pond does not decide what must be reflected before the day begins. It meets the sky that is actually there. Clouds may pass. Light may change. The surface does not fail because the reflection changes. Your life can hold changing forms too. Some seasons are social. Some are quiet. Some bring companionship. Some ask for more solitude. Some are about rebuilding trust in yourself. Some are about enjoying what you have already created. You do not have to label a quiet season as a missing season. Quiet has substance. It can restore attention that was scattered for years. It can help you hear preferences you suppressed. It can show you what pace belongs to you. It can teach you the difference between wanting connection and fearing your own company. That distinction is useful. Wanting connection is natural. Fear of your own company can make almost any connection seem preferable to none. When you become more at ease with yourself, your choices become freer. You can say yes because you genuinely want to. You can say no without believing no leaves you with nothing. You can wait without feeling erased. You can walk away without assuming you missed your last chance. This freedom does not make you detached. It makes your affection less burdened by fear. You can care because care is present. Not because you are trying to prevent abandonment. You can give because giving feels right, not because you are purchasing security. You can listen because you are interested, not because you are gathering instructions on how to become acceptable. You can be seen without constantly adjusting what is seen. This is a deeper form of ease. And ease cannot be faked for long. You cannot think your way into it through perfect performance. You build it by repeatedly discovering that you can remain with yourself. When praise comes, you enjoy it. When criticism comes, you consider what is useful and leave what is not. When affection comes, you appreciate it. When distance comes, you do not immediately abandon your center. Again and again you learn the same quiet lesson. The surface moves. The reflection changes. A season ends. Another begins. That continuity belongs to you. It is not granted by another person. It is not removed by another person. You have carried yourself through every chapter so far. Even when you were harsh toward yourself, some deeper part kept going. Tonight, you can begin relating to that part with more respect. It has been carrying you for a long time. This is where first-person truth can begin to settle more deeply. You do not need to force each line. Let the words pass through at their own pace. Some will feel close, some will feel distant. Keep only what feels honest for tonight. I am learning to trust quiet. I do not need to prove myself through strain. I can care without abandoning myself. I can wait for actions to become clear. I can let time reveal character. I can speak without apologizing for existing. I can ask for clarity once. I can respect an unanswered question. I can stop inventing explanations. I can protect my peace without becoming cold. I can be tender and discerning. I can welcome care that is steady. I can step away from repeated confusion. I can honor what my life has taught me. I can choose without panic. I can remain open without rushing. I can be interested without losing myself. I can miss someone and still remain grounded. I can survive another person's disappointment. I can survive being misunderstood. I can change what I accept. I can trust repeated evidence. I can let old patterns end with me. I can become easier to hear inside myself. I can give my attention more carefully. I can keep my own plans. I can let closeness grow slowly. I can speak a clear no. I can speak an honest yes. I can value consistency over intensity. I can let affection be mutual. I can respect my time. I can respect my body. I can respect my sleep. I can stop competing with my younger self. I can honor the life I have lived. I can let age deepen my discernment. I can begin again without shame. I can hold hope without gripping it. I can let disappointment remain human-sized. I can stop turning endings into verdicts. I can return to myself. I can settle. I can soften. I can wait. I can see. I can choose. I remain here. I remain whole. I am present. I am learning. I am clear. I am steady. I am safe here. I can rest. Let the longer sentences end now. No more examining, no more measuring, no more comparing. Let the surface quiet. Let the forehead release. Let the eyes become heavy. Let the jaw loosen. Let the tongue rest. Let the throat soften. Let the shoulders drop. Let the hands become still. Let the fingers uncurl. Let the chest move without effort. Let the belly be unheld. Let the hips settle. Let the legs grow heavy. Let the feet rest. Nothing to perform, nothing to send, nothing to decode, nothing to repair tonight. No old conversation requires another rehearsal. No future connection requires prediction. No memory needs a verdict. The water is settling. You can leave it alone, a little clearer, a little quieter, a little less disturbed. You do not have to see everything. You only have to stop stirring. Rest can do what effort cannot. Let the bottom become still. Let the surface become smooth. Let the reflection return in its own time. Your life does not need to be solved before sleep. Your future does not need to be secured tonight. Your history does not need another trial. You can lie here as you are. No pursuit, no proving, only this quiet return, only this body resting, only this night becoming softer. The inner water knows the way toward clarity. You can stop helping, you can stop searching, you can stop holding yourself above the bed with thought. Sink into the mattress. Heavier now, quieter now, less to carry. Let one thought go, then another. Let one question go, let one name go, let one old comparison go. No need to finish the process. Sleep can arrive before the mind is finished. You do not have to complete yourself tonight. You are permitted to drift while questions remain. You are permitted to rest while life is unresolved. You are permitted to be held by quiet without knowing what tomorrow brings. The pond does not fear the dark. It rests beneath it. The surface becomes still and holds even the faintest light. You can become still too. No reaching, No rehearsing, no correcting. Rest. Stay, breathe, settle. Here, now, quiet. I hold still until my truth clears. You no longer chase, you attract. Sleep beneath the truth that never left.